And I'm joined now by Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, who has helped Joe Biden prepare for debates in the past. Good morning, Senator. Great to have you on set this morning. The campaign has talked about wanting to do these debates early because so many people vote early, as we just pointed out in that piece. But does this give Biden a chance to change the narrative, given his polling numbers?
Well, Martha, first of all, it's good to be with you. And I'm glad now we have debates that work better for the American people. These debates will now take place before millions of people have voted. They're designed to focus on serious issues rather than create a circus atmosphere. And in June, when the first debate will be, it will give the president, yes, an opportunity to really frame the choice that's before the American people. And the sooner we begin to frame that choice, the better.
They cut off mics. You said an advantage for the American people. They cut off mics if the candidates aren't speaking. It's just one-on-one, no live audience. That seems to be advantage Biden, since former President Trump loves that live audience.
Again, I think this is an advantage to the American people. They want the candidates focused on issues, on the economy, on foreign policy. What Donald Trump likes is a carnival-like atmosphere. He's more of an entertainer than a serious debater on the issues. And so I think this helps the American people crystallize the choice.
President Trump, former President Trump, has already started trashing Joe Biden, calling for a drug test, saying that President Biden was high during the State of the Union. So we're not exactly talking about policy yet. So what are your expectations of these debates?
Well, we know Donald Trump. You just mentioned, the drug testing. This is the guy who was the birther candidate. He is not focused on issues that are important to the American people. He wants to create this sort of atmosphere of a circus-like entertainment. But the choice will be very clear. I mean, you've got Joe Biden. He's the guy who grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He fights for the middle class. He believes in the dignity of work and decency. Donald Trump, agent of chaos, somebody who's running for revenge, and somebody who just said to a bunch of oil company execs the other day, give me $1 billion for my campaign, I'll give you everything you want.
Donald Trump clearly thinks there's an advantage here, though, or he wouldn't have accepted. So what do you think he gains out of this? I mean, certainly he can talk to his base. Does it attract independent voters?
Look, Donald Trump believes that by sort of creating this atmosphere of chaos, entertainment, we saw him yesterday down with the NRA promising, the gun lobby everything they wanted, saying he was proud of the fact he didn't take action after kids were gunned down. So, look, the Trump campaign will have to answer, what they want out of this debate.
But let's talk about the American public is concerned about Joe Biden's age as well. And I know you're going to say Donald Trump is almost that age. But can you honestly say you don't have any concerns about Joe Biden that night in these debates?
I do not have concerns. I mean, there were people who said they were concerned about the State of the Union address. He came out swinging. He delivered a very clear message to the American people. Look, it's not about the age of the candidate. It's about the ideas of the candidate, what they're going to do for the American people going forward. Donald Trump is all about revenge. He's all about the past. Joe Biden is about fighting for the American people and putting forward an agenda for the future.
Okay, so let's put campaigning aside for a moment. I know in the 2012 debate, which I moderated, you played the part of Paul Ryan in rehearsals. What did you learn about Joe Biden's process for these debates?
Well, the challenge, as always, is to boil down a huge amount of issues into a short amount of time. And, Joe Biden likes to explain things. He likes to talk about his record. But in a debate, you've got to really crystallize that. And again, the choice is going to be so clear this time between Joe Biden, somebody who's protecting democracy, and Donald Trump, who wants to trash it.
No way you're putting campaigning aside, right? In the 2020 debates, President Biden was exasperated at one point. I mean, those were very different debates. The first one was total chaos. The second calmed down a bit. But he was calling Trump a clown, saying, shut up. Would you advise him not to do that this time?
Well, I don't know if I would, because you have to show the human side of people. I mean, I remember in the vice presidential debate that you moderated, there were plenty of times that Joe Biden did things that we had not gone over, right, in the prep. I mean, he at one point responded to Paul Ryan, "Oh, that's a bunch of malarkey." So you've got to show who you are. And, you know, when Donald Trump is being a complete jerk, then I can understand the President of the United States, you know, responding and letting him know that's what he thinks.
Former President Trump, he's accepted the invitation for these two. He's also wants to do more debates, including Telemundo, a Hispanic audience. Would you advise him to do more, President Biden?
I think we finally nailed down 2 debates rather than getting into a debate about debates. You know, my understanding is Telemundo can partner with other, you know, ABC or CNN as part of that night. So, look, you know, Donald Trump likes to talk trash. He always says he wants to do something and then doesn't. I don't know if he's going to testify at his trial in New York this week, where he says he really wants to get on the stand. So the good news for the American people is that we've now locked down 2 debates.
Let's look at this polling. The battleground state polls from the New York Times and Siena College this week show he's down by 12 in Nevada, 7 in Michigan, 7 in Arizona, and 3 in Pennsylvania, the only states where he had the slight edge in Wisconsin. How do you turn that around? That is a pretty dire polling.
Well, first of all, polls go up and down. I mean, you and I have been following politics for a long time. We know it will go up and down. But the short answer is to begin to frame the choice for the American people, which is why it's very good news that the first debate will be in June.
And we'll all be looking forward to that. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Senator.
Good to be with you. Thanks.